It's yeah, awesome to be here. Beautiful sunny day up here in Berkeley. How are things down for you, Christy?
It is hot and sunny today. I'm excited to take the dogs out on a walk and just get some sunshine later.
Oh my gosh, that sounds really nice. Yeah, I love hanging out outside with my puppies. All right, what do you say we get started, Christy?
Let's get started.
Cool. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about who we are. My name's Lincoln. I am an education and training fellow with the Energy Coalition. Chris, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Christy. I am also an education and training fellow with the Energy Coalition based out of Orange County. Lincoln is based out of Oakland, and we have a bunch of us who are based all over California, which makes teamwork really exciting.
Mm-hmm. And right now, we're offering a ton of free lessons for you all to do at home. Ways that you can get engaged with science using things that you have lying around the house. And we're going to do one of those lessons with you here today. So today's lesson, we're going to be focusing on pollution solution. This website is already available, or this lesson is already available on our Peek at Home website. And we're going to be focusing on the greenhouse effect. And we're also going to learn a fun song. So I hope you guys all brought your singing voices.
So we're going to start a little warm up today to introduce our activity. And with that, we are going to talk about how do we power our stuff. So stuff as in our cars, our houses, our buildings, our electronics, and what do we use to power that? And majority of us use fossil fuels. Next slide. Fossil fuels. And what are fossil fuels made out of? Well, fossil fuels come from dinosaur bones and plants from millions of years ago that have passed away, and over time there's been tons of pressure on that, and they become these skeletal remains, and then with even more time it becomes what we call coal or gas or oil. And how we do that is we drill deep into the earth to get these materials, and when we do that, the earth gets pretty ruined. We can't, if we're digging on the ground we live in right now, we can't be living there anymore. So not just that, are we ruining the landscape of our earth? How we use these materials is that we burn them. And what happens when we burn our fuel? Well, with these photo examples in large scale forms, we can see how when we burn things, it all goes up into the air. That black toxic smoke goes up into the air, and it casts a disgusting fog all over our landscape. And unfortunately, it blocks out a lot of sunlight that we enjoy, like sunny days like today. And with that, we have something that we like to call the greenhouse effect. Lincoln, could you get us started on that?
Yeah, so Christy just talked a lot about how releasing gases kind of creates this ceiling to our planet. And I'm going to talk about what you see in front of you right now, which is a greenhouse. Now, when you're looking at this picture, just drop it in the chat. What are some things you notice about this picture? How do you feel when you see this picture? What stands out to you?
Also, has anyone ever been in a greenhouse?
The plants are beautiful. I agree. I know for myself, looking at this picture, I kind of feel like hot and sticky, like the air is very, very dense and warm. All those plants seem pretty happy. Does anybody notice anything else about this picture? Well, we've got some light that's coming in from the windows over here on the left-hand side. And that's actually the first part of the greenhouse effect. The sun's heat, which we see as light, enters through the glass of the greenhouse. If it was a concrete building, you wouldn't necessarily have the same thing because that heat and that light can't make it through the glass. And then as this solar energy is coming inside of the greenhouse, the air inside heats up, and that's that like warm, like kind of humid feeling that you feel that the plants really enjoy. And as the air heats up, it hits that ceiling and it spreads out, and the whole temperature of the greenhouse increases. And this cycle of the heat entering, the air heating up and being trapped, we call the greenhouse effect. Christy, you want to talk a little bit about how this relates to our planet?
Yeah, so the greenhouse effect, just like how it heats up and the air is trapped in the greenhouse, the same thing is happening on a large scale on our actual planet. We have an atmosphere that wraps around our Earth that protects us from the outer layers of space. And within that ozone layer, that atmosphere, all of that pollution that rises up, all that heat and pollution rises up, and it gets trapped in that layer, and it prevents any sunlight from coming in. And because of that, it traps the layer. Instead of the heat escaping out, it actually spreads out more evenly around, and it creates this layer, this bubble of heat around our planet Earth. So our next slide here, we have a GIF made from NASA where we see the sunlight reflecting back some energy, and then some is absorbed back in irradiated heat. And now that heat is being dispersed out all over in all directions, warming the Earth. So, and a small example of that in the lesson, an experiment that we can do today is called greenhouse in a jar. Lincoln, would you like to show us our activity today?
Sure. I'm going to walk us through how you, like some of the materials we need and some of the steps involved. And then I'm going to do a live demo where you all can see. And, you know, if you have some of these materials ready, you can follow along yourself, or you can do it at home later. This video will be available for you. So first, the materials that you're going to need. You're going to need 2 identical clear containers without lids. So this can be 2 jars that are the same, 2 Tupperware containers. If you have clear glass cups, you need them to be clear, because remember, like the greenhouse, those walls were made out of glass. The sun has to be able to come in. And they have to be identical because we're going to be comparing the 2. We're setting up a little experiment. You'll see what I mean when we do the live demo. Then you're going to need 2 plates. So the plate is going to act as, in one case, it's going to act as just like a container to hold the jar. Yeah, it also kind of acts as like a lid to make sure that nothing escapes. You'll see what I mean in the live demo, but just we want clear containers, 2 plates, 2 teaspoons of room temperature butter or margarine. So this is what we're going to use as our thermometer. We know that a lot of you at home don't have thermometers. I don't really have a thermometer at my house that I can just put inside of a jar. So what we're going to be looking at is we're going to be looking at the butter melting. And the idea is the butter in one jar, if that jar is hotter, it's going to melt faster than the butter in the other jar. You'll see what I mean. Just wait for it. You're going to need a teaspoon, of course, to get that butter scooped out, a sunny day, and your singing voice. We're going to be doing a little sing-along in a minute here. So here's the setup. You're going to prepare a space for 2 plates in a sunny area. Scoop a teaspoon of butter and put it on one of the plates. Cover that scoop of butter with one of the clear containers upside down. Scoop a teaspoon of butter and put it in the other clear container, and put that container on a plate with the lid removed. And then put both plates into a sunny area and watch the butter melt. You will see the greenhouse gas in action, greenhouse gas effect in action. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen right now, and we're going to go do a live demo. I'll meet you at the setup in 1 second.
All right, this would be a great time if you would like to participate in the same activity to grab your materials and begin your setup now.
Okay, let's get this camera set up. How's that look, Christy?
That looks great. I can see both clearly.
Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We got our butter right here, okay, pat of butter, and we're gonna take a teaspoon, and I'm gonna scoop up, use a knife so that I don't get butter all over my hands. We're gonna scoop 1 teaspoon of butter and level it off so that way we know we're using the same amount for both. 1 teaspoon of butter, and we're gonna put it in one of the jars, just like that. And then we're gonna scoop another teaspoon of butter, level it off. And this one, we're gonna put underneath this jar inside of our little greenhouse. Okay, so covering this up. So in this jar, we have, well, this butter's already pre-melted just because it's a hot day. So maybe I'll add another little bit of fresh butter. Sorry about this, folks. Okay, and now we're gonna scoop the unmelted butter. There we go. Okay, so we have unmelted butter in an open jar and quickly melting butter in this covered jar. And now while we're waiting for this experiment to happen, we're gonna see which one melts first. We're gonna do a little song. So let me switch back to the presentation.
Yeah, while we wait for our butter to melt, we are going to sing the tune of Old MacDonald. This is our version, Old MacCarbon. And we'll grab the lyrics up in a bit.
Lyrics coming in one moment. Okay. All right.
All right, let's begin.
Here we go.
Ready? 1, a 2, a 1.
You know
2,
what to
3,
do.
4.
Humans making
climate
climate
change.
We can slow it down. We burn those ferns for energy. We can slow it down.
With the no
Burning
here
here
and
and no burning there. Here no burning, there no
there no
burning.
burn. Earth we will
We will not burn ferns. Humans
making climate
change.
change.
We can slow it down. Next verse.
All right. We build
Build
more
more
renewable
renewable energy.
We can
And
slow
slow
it
it
down.
down. More water, wind, and solar, please. We can slow it down with renewables
here and
renewables there. Here renew, there renew. Earth, we will renew you. Humans making climate change. We can slow it down.
With less
Carbon in the air. We can slow it down. The web of life can clean it well. We can slow it down.
With more
Life here, more life there. Here, more life, there, more life. Earth, we love your wildlife. Humans making climate change. We can slow it down. Okay, so
let's check back on that.
Let's check on the butter. Gotta do it quick before it all melts.
Lincoln, can you share your screen?
Yep, here we go. All right, so check it out. In the open jar, we still have some butter left. That's still solid. I don't know if you can see that. And then in this jar, all the butter has melted in the covered jar. And I don't know if you can see on the camera, but if you do this at home, I can actually see some of the steam on the inside of this jar. It's just that much hotter inside of this jar right now than it is where the jar was open to the air. I don't know if you put those two next to each other.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. Wow. Must be a really hot day for that to happen.
Well, not only is it a hot day, but just this little greenhouse we got here is creating the same effect that we see on planet Earth that's causing the climate to change.
And we must be the butter, aren't we?
We are the butter. We're all gonna melt, but we can slow it down. We can slow it down just like what we said in the song. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna pause my video. Okay. Take us back to the presentation. Okay. Whoops. Oops. All right. So what did we notice about the two jars, Christy?
Well, it's like you said, even through the camera, I can definitely tell how humid it was inside that greenhouse jar. And I know I've been in many greenhouses before, and I've definitely felt that effect.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty wild. So I hope you all get a chance to try that at home. I had a lot of fun doing it. And if you don't have butter, you can use margarine. You could even try using an ice cube. It just takes a lot longer to melt. We wanted to do something quick while we're all here together.
You could also try coconut oil for a vegan option as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. And we'll see you next Tuesday from 1 to 2 for My Energy Future.
Thank you so much.
Hope you have a great day. And please don't forget to check us out at peakstudents.org and to check us out our Peak at Home lessons and our previously recorded webinars and other activities.
Thanks so much. Have a great day.
Thank you.
This webinar was brought to you by the Energy Coalition. With NGSS-aligned and environmentally focused STEM lessons, the Energy Coalition provides Peak at Home, digital lessons designed to support your students' curiosity for science and exploration from the comfort of home. To sign up is quick and easy. Simply visit the Families Corner of the Peak website at peakstudents.org/families-corner. There, you can complete the registration form for access to our full Peak at Home library and for more information on all Peak program offerings.